Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. That's a quote from Warren Buffett, and you might want to remember that right now because in the crypto market, um, you know, a lot of people are talking about us going into a bear market right now. So, with all the FUD and all the rumors that are going out in the markets right now, uh, people are fearful, okay? And when they're fearful, guess what? I'm greedy, and you should be too. Hey guys, you're tuning in to Lions Den Investments and Reviews. My name is Casey. In today's video, I'm just going to cover the fundamentals in the market right now, especially with like what Jerome Powell just said in his announcement to the congressional hearing. Like I've been saying on this channel, if you haven't watched any of the videos, hit that subscribe button because I've been saying watch the month of July. The month of July is going to be really important, and boy, has it been important so far. I'm going to cover that. We're not going to get into too much technical analysis here. Basically, it's the same stuff with Bitcoin. It's just going sideways right now. We get support down here at about 30,461. And then a 200-day moving average price with resistance around like 39,439. So not a whole lot going on, guys. Bitcoin's just kind of going sideways. So let's just move over to the fundamentals and focus on that, because going back to that quote that I just said there with Warren Buffett, all right, here's what this yellow stain, and I'm calling him Yellow Stain because that's his name on YouTube. If you know who I'm talking about and you watch his channel, he calls him Yellow Stain. I'm gonna go ahead and add on to that though and call him Yellow Stain Chrome Dome Jerome Powell, because the guy is he's smart, he's brilliant when it comes to like what he has to say and how he words it, but he's a freaking douchebag too sometimes because he just straight out lies to the Congress, okay? Sometimes I wonder if these guys, before they go on in front of live stream media, if they don't collaborate behind closed doors, and somebody's narrating the whole thing, just saying, hey, you guys know what's happening in the back. Both of you guys know what moves you're making, Congress and the Federal Reserve, who I'm referring to here. But just nod your heads and go along with the answers that the Federal Reserve gives you, okay? That's honestly what I think's going on here, because when Fed Yellow Stain Jerome Powell, Chrome Dome Jerome here, what he had to say, if you weren't paying attention, he just basically told all the American population that cryptocurrencies and stablecoins won't be needed once the U.S. has a digital currency, okay? And he went further, saying that stablecoins, the U.S. digital dollar, or a dollar for that matter, in its current form, are in fact a liability for banks. Now this would be for central banks and local banks abroad, okay? I want you to think about that for a minute. It's a liability, not an asset, okay? Which means that these guys are printing up trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars over the last year and a half or two, and guess what the value's worth? Knowing that that's what banks think of the U.S. dollar as being a liability. Guess what the value's worth? That. Zero. Nada. Zilch. And you trade your time and energy for that. That's why I keep telling people, hedge for inflation, due to all the money printing and the higher taxes on the front end. And the fact that they're telling you and trying to scare you out of this stuff just confirms what I've always been saying, which is they want what you have, okay? They want your cryptos. And what's interesting about this whole speech that he gave today, he didn't even cover utility tokens, okay? He didn't even cover tokens like XRP or Theta, Cardano, Digibyte. He didn't cover any of those, all right? So all they were talking about was merely cryptocurrencies and stablecoins, which have monetary use case. That's all they were focusing on. So keep that in mind as you go through here, and I tell you what he said. Basically, he challenged the need for cryptos if and when plans for a U.S. digital currency comes into fruition, like what I was saying. And then the questions, the guy who was asking the questions was posed by Republican Stephen Lynch, and he said you wouldn't need stablecoins, you would need cryptocurrencies. Let me rephrase that. He said you wouldn't need stablecoins, you wouldn't need cryptocurrencies if you had a digital U.S. currency. I think that's one of the stronger arguments in its favor. Stablecoins are a type of cryptocurrency pegged to an asset, such as a fiat currency or a precious metal. We have a tradition in this country where the public's money is held in what is supposed to be a very safe asset. That doesn't exist for stablecoins, and if they're going to be a significant part of the payments universe, then we need an appropriate framework, which frankly, we don't have. Okay? It's a good thing I was not in the room with this guy because I would have completely destroyed him. All right? And I can call bullshit straight off what I'm seeing here. This statement right here, then we need an appropriate framework, which quite frankly, we don't have, right? What about the ISO 20022 framework? How about that? If you guys don't know what that is, go Google ISO 20022. It's the engineering framework for the cross-border payments remittance system, which includes blockchains like XRP, XLM, Hyperledger Fabric, or R3 Corda. It's already in place. It's been in place for a long, long time. And if you go back and watch some of my other videos, I actually give you a layout for the time frame in which Swift is going to facilitate transactions on this ledger. Okay, we get till about 2025, but go check that video out if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And I believe it was like just a couple videos ago where I was talking about that. And that doesn't even include the FedNow program. The FedNow program is, about 110 different organizations financially who have joined forces to work on cross-border remittance payments and test the pilot projects that they're using right now through the FedNow program. Go look that one up as well. So what he's saying here is a complete fabricated lie. And what he is telling you, and one thing he did get right, was he was saying that the U.S. digital dollar, or a dollar for that matter, or stable coins, are worthless. They're a liability to the banks. So if they're a liability to the banks, what makes them an asset in your possession? It doesn't. All right, so just keep that in mind. Moving forward, Bitcoin trending down after earlier gains. This article was from July 15th, so it's a few days old, but basically, they're talking about the intraday volume for the world's oldest cryptocurrency remains considerably lower than weeks past, with the number of coins traded every few hours having tapered since the June 29th sell-off. All right, so things are tapering off a little bit. Just another headline here that's kind of got people spooked when it comes to a bearish sentiment in the market. But it's like Warren Buffett says here. All right, only buy something that you'd be perfectly happy to hold if the market's shut down for 10 years. All right. And I keep telling you, I'm not really a day trader over here. I'm more of an investor. Okay, I do an 80-20 rule. I do 80% long-term, 20% short-term, and that's if I feel like trading. I got to have an opportunity in front of me, though, in order to do that. And I'm not going to trade with anything I can afford to lose. So with that in mind, being 80% of my assets are held up long-term, I'm looking for something with some solid use case and something that if the exchanges went down because the SEC closed them down, and they're in my own, private wallet or personal possession, I don't care. I'm going to hold on to that shit for the next 10 years. Okay? So just some words of advice there, or a little investing tip for you when you're looking into these cryptos, because if you get involved in stuff like Dogecoin, guys, or one of these meme coins that have no development team or use case behind them, and it's merely just a belief system built on a community, you might be in trouble. Just saying, like, who knows where those will go. But I can tell you where Theta's going long term over the next 5 years. The use case behind that is going to be the third layer to the internet, basically, for live streaming video. So, just giving you an example there. This article here, 80 central banks are to adopt a central banking digital coin. And the reason why I showed you this one here is because keep in mind what Jerome Powell just said, Yellowstone. He said that these stable coins and central banking digital currencies are a liability. So what do you think they're going to do here? Use your brain for a minute and think about this. Knowing what I told you about ISO 20022, which uses the blockchain ledgers. What they're going to do is they're going to use these central banking digital coins, and they're going to use them on the protocol or the underlying asset ledger so that they can do remittance payments cross border. So they want you to believe that the central banking digital coins, when the time comes, they're going to make you believe that they actually have value, and they're worth more than some of these other crypto projects. Don't let them fool you. Okay. So keep that in mind as well. You want to own the underlying asset, the actual ledger and protocols. They're going to make up this new financial system. But again, this article right here, bullish. It's bullish. Here's the last one. The Fed's digital dollar could bring millions into the digital economy. Again, is this bullish or bearish for the entire market? Think about that one for a minute. That's bullish. That's bullish. All right. Honestly, at the end of the day, guys, take Warren Buffett's advice there. That's actually pretty good advice, especially when you're looking at value investing like I am. But with that said, there's a lot of volatility that's going to come ahead. Okay, so don't get spooked by that. Fear nothing. The other thing that's bullish is if Swift and BIS, right? If they facilitate their transactions over the XRP ledger, you're going to get about $6 trillion overnight being facilitated by those two on that network ledger using the framework of ISO 20022. Imagine what that would do for the price of XRP. All right, now we got to get through this lawsuit case with XRP first and the SEC, but when that time comes, I have a sneaky suspicion that they're going to have to revalue the asset of XRP to a much higher price to handle the volume of $6 trillion. Because if you look at the overall crypto market right now, the overall crypto market's value or amount of money and volume of transactions that are going through that market is only at about 1.3 or 1.4 trillion dollars. I'm not even looking at what it is right now because I quite frankly don't care. I just know where it's going. It's bullish. So, fear nothing, my friends. That's all I have for today. If you like the content, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. And with that said, you guys have a great night.